Hey, what's up guys, Benny here, and the FFAR and the Aug has just received another nerf in Call of Duty Warzone, but the FFAR is still definitely overpowered in the game, and I'm going to give you the exact class setup that you now need to be using and break down some gameplay with it so you know how to get the most out of it for it to still be the best close range weapon in Warzone. And the Aug, well, I'll show you the patch notes for yourself so you can see exactly what's happened, but Cold War Tactical Rifle Charlie, or more commonly known as the Aug, I don't actually know why they kind of call it by these names like Charlie, Bravo, Alpha. It just doesn't make sense. Just call it the Aug. But the burst weapons, it's had its recoil increase, which means you're now going to struggle to land those consecutive shots like you used to be able to do with that high fire rate where you can just kind of spam it and take people down really quickly. I think you're going to see a huge transition if you still want to use burst weapons in Warzone, that you're going to want to now use the M16. I thought last week it was better anyway, and it's what I've been using in my streams. So I'll show you that class setup and break down gameplay with it, as I said, later on in the video. But burst weapons ride a fine line between being inefficient and oppressive. The intent of this change is to maintain the weapon's identity of being a powerhouse while making it a bit more difficult to wield. Right now, we feel it is too easy to stay on target given how lethal it is. We will continue to monitor the performance of the Tactical Rifle Charlie and make additional changes if necessary. The recoil now kicks way too much if you're gonna kind of be top meta. Still very good gun at close to medium range, but at long ranges, it's gonna fall off. Start using the M16. But something that you're probably more interested in is the FFAR. Now, the ADS speed has been decreased, which means that if you're running around and just trying to snap onto people at close range, it's not going to be as effective, all right? Especially if you've got that monolithic suppressor with the task force with the Ranger barrel, field aid, no grip, serpent rat. That build's not as good as it was after this update, because as they said, the FFAR is a jack of all trades. All right, it has the damage profile range of an AR as well as the fire rate of an SMG, which is what makes it so damn ridiculous. But the FFAR's wholesale efficiency has its edging out SMGs at ranges that we're not satisfied with. Ideally, the FFAR fulfills the role of a mid-range dominator while falling prey to weapons that excel in short-range engagements. We're bringing the FFAR a bit more in line with that, with what you might expect from an AR, damage and range at the cost of handling. So it's going to feel a bit more sluggish. However, the build that I'm going to show you is going to counter that, and it does not feel sluggish at all. It'll probably get nerfed again, but until then, you're going to want to be using this. But yeah, that just goes on about some other weapon fixes. But let's get straight into building the FFAR that you guys are you're gonna want to be using, because this thing, honestly, is ridiculous. I love this so much. It's like being on ice skates. So there are some cons with it. If we go straight to the FFAR, go to the muzzle. We don't actually use a muzzle. The agency suppressor is gone. The first weapon, I think, in a long time that I've gone, you don't want the suppressor, and there's good reason for that. You're using this as a close-range weapon, and the reasoning is if you remember when we were using the R9 shotgun, you didn't need that suppressor to be effective, because you're at close range. People are calling you out. They're live pinging you. It doesn't matter at that range if you're appearing on radar. It might draw attention of other squads, but they're going to hear the gunfire anyway and head on over, so it doesn't make too big of a difference. However, you're going to want that 19.5-inch task force. Now, we were using the 20.3 takedown barrel before, but they removed the strafe speed. The task force barrel still has that strafe speed, increased bullet velocity and effective damage range. But more importantly, that strafe speed, because that is what's going to help you be viable at close range. Now, that's also going to increase the recoil of the gun, so you need that field agent grip to counter it. Some people are running it without field agent grip, and the recoil is just all over the place. I personally don't like it with that situation. It's too hard to handle, and it's just, once again, hurting the handling of the FAR. The ammo, you then go for that Stagnag 50-round mag. You then got to go for a rear grip and have the serpent wrap. That's going to give you a faster ADS time and make it still feel a little bit snappy. It's not as fast as it used to be, but it's still very snappy and usable. Does punish your sprint to fire time, but you counter that with the Raider stock, which is going to increase that ADS firing move speed and aim walking movement speed, as well as the sprint to fire. Now, that allows you to kind of push a corner and preempt. I'm going to talk you through all of this in the gameplay that we're going to break down, but I love this. You're not suppressed, but how you're using the FAR, that doesn't matter. This thing is ridiculous. Now, I also talked about the Aug. Now, the AUG has been nerfed. You now want to use Tactical Rifle Bravo. I love the M16. It's what I've been using on this Agency Silencer. This is what I use for mid to long range, and then switch to the FAR for close. The 15.9 strike team barrel, incredible. Field Agent foregrip, 45 round mag. You don't go through ammo as quickly with the M16s. It doesn't have as high a fire rate as the AUG. So the 45 round mag is perfect for that. Then the optic is the axial arms 3 times. Then I go ahead and use the precision reticle on that. But I'm going to go break some gameplay down with this so you guys know how to still use this, how to get the most out of it, and see how good it actually is. Now, don't get me wrong, it does get a bit nerve-wracking at times that when you're taking someone down that you're on radar for everyone, but you can see right there, the ADS time, because of that Serpent Wrap being added, is still really, really good. And because you've got that radar stock, because you're sacrificing the agency suppressor, your sprint to fire time is still absolutely insane. Like right here, right? Take the guy out at mid-range like the AR support that's posted, and then this guy jumps out, and I'm still able to jump shot, finish him off with the FAR, and then get away. The mobility is not gone after this nerf. Like, yes, if you use a traditional build, you're gonna notice that ADS drop off. However, this build sacrifices the ability of staying off radar, and you're still gonna get one of the fastest time to kill weapons out there. Really high mobility, and it's so much fun to use. Also, if you're trying to get high kill games, this is gonna draw more attention to you and make squads come over to you. And if you hold down a position, you're gonna rack up a lot of kills inside of a building. Right here, really proud of this gameplay. Take that guy down, wait for the press, able to do that, and then I know the guy from above that I heard is going to drop down. Able to get all 3 of them, 1 mag, and you can see, still dominant at close range. Finish that guy off the M16, which I absolutely love. If you've been tuning into the streams, you know I'm such a big fan of it. And a nice little 360 with the FAR to pick up that kill. Here, you can see I kind of overstretched myself right here, jump in, and I just sadly just can't swing around, but I still got shots off from that guy. And this is why I also want to show the M16 and why this is now the replacement for the AUG. The AUG, I feel, is it's still usable, but it's definitely not meta anymore with that increase of the recoil. It's just going to make it well, you can manage it, but you might as well just use the M16, which hasn't been penalized. And as you can see, you can just get your shots off quite comfortably and just drop people. Not as high a fire rate, but still very, very good. And if you got a position like this, you can just hold it down very easily. Use that FAR to just kind of lock off doorways and check positions that are coming over. And then also, if you just see the person coming out the gas like this, you can get those shots off and pick those mid-range kills up. And this is what happens. However, you got to remember, in that situation, I could have got caught off because I did appear on radar. Very easy to get held. And why I've been vouching for the M16, you can still just take people off head glitches, use that FAR to push up with a high mobility, and just take people out. But just be ready when you're using this setup that people might push you. So you'll notice in the gameplay that how I play, second I take people out, I wait a second, scan the area and see if anyone's going to push. Same place, I don't run over. Ty there did sadly just rush out, and I kind of used him as a bullet sponge, but then I pop up with the M16, take the guy out, and then I'm able to go ahead and get this res off. Scanning though. Knew I fired with the M16 there, so I might have a few seconds. Scanning the horizon and just being aware for people coming over and just trying to hug the side of the wall as well. This is some gameplay that you should always be doing, and this is now the really versatile meta loadout. Just remember, like when we were using the R9 Dragon Breath shotgun in the past, we didn't worry about appearing on radar a little bit. We just knew that having that fast time to kill was totally worth the sacrifice of radar. And it's just nice. Get the stun off, hit him with that straight away, get the other stun off, and then using this M16, I love it so much. And then straight away, high mobility, get to that FAR. And it's kind of got me thinking a lot about the weapons that I've been using. Also, how Ghost is Ghost still as overly viable as it was, because if we think about Ghost, advanced UAVs that you can buy at the zombie locations actually show Ghost on radar now. So are you going to start wanting to use restock or high alert? Make sure to go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. But for the first time, especially going in towards season 3, I think we're going to see some serious meta changes. The M16 really, really good. And I think you're just going to see an instant switch. If you have an AUG in your loadout still, please just go ahead, try out the M16, give it a little go with that class that I showed you earlier in the video, and you're going to have an absolute blast. And the FAR with this build as well, the mobility is not an issue. I think we will see a few people using the Bullfrog, a few people maybe using the Cold War MP5, the Mac 10 now, but the FAR is still not going anywhere. I think especially from that description they said in the patch notes, how they want it to be a kind of a hybrid weapon between an assault rifle and an SMG. They need to make some big things if they're going to take it out of the meta, because this thing, it's that high damage profile with that fire rate. You're just not going to lose that time to kill, which is like under half a second. No one can do anything. If you sit in pre-aim or just like pop a dead silence like this and push a squad and just line up, they can't react. They have no time to react. And even if I shot them with a Mac 10 there, I wouldn't be able to kill them that quickly. They would have been able to pop out, change positions, and get some shots off. The time to kill was definitely lower in the gameplay. But there we have it. Let me know what you think about this FAR setup and M16 down in the comments below. Make sure to go try it out yourself. Subscribe to the channel. Smash the thumbs up button. And I will see you next time for more Warzone content. Thanks for watching.